Let go to be free, the paradox of detachment. Stop holding on to what's breaking you. You're tired, not just physically. You're tired of pretending, of trying to please everyone, of holding on to people, jobs, and situations that are slowly destroying you inside. Let's be honest, you've been calling it love, but it's fear. You've been calling it responsibility, but it's control. You say you're staying because you care, but deep down, you know you're just afraid to let go. And that fear is costing you everything. It's costing your peace, your focus, your energy, your life. This video is not here to comfort you. It's here to confront you, because if you don't let go of what's draining you, you'll keep running in circles, pretending to live, but never truly free. So this is your moment to stop surviving and start choosing yourself, to finally say, enough. I'm done begging. I'm done chasing. I'm done holding on to what no longer wants to stay. Because the real power begins when you finally let go. What detachment really means, you've been taught that detachment means being heartless, that letting go means giving up, that moving on means you didn't care. But that's a lie. Detachment isn't about not feeling. It's about not letting your feelings control your life. It's not indifference, it's emotional intelligence. It's being aware of your limits, your energy, your peace, and knowing when enough is enough. Because real strength is knowing when to walk away, when to stop forcing what no longer makes sense, when to stop begging to be chosen, seen, or validated. You've been trying too hard, and it's not working, not because you're weak, but because you're attached. You're attached to an image, to a person, to an idea of who you should be, to a version of your life that's killing who you actually are. The silent collapse. There was a man who tried to control everything, his job, his family, his image, his friends. He lived on edge, always. Planning, always managing everyone's expectations, until one day, his body collapsed before his mind did. In the hospital, he finally understood. Letting go doesn't mean losing. It means trusting. It means healing. It means you no longer want to carry the weight of what you cannot fix. And maybe that's where your freedom begins too, not in doing more, but in surrendering more. The cost of caring too much. You know what it costs to care too much. It costs your peace. It costs your sleep. It costs your health. It costs your time. And eventually it costs you. You stay in toxic relationships because you're afraid of being alone. You keep jobs that destroy your soul because you fear change. You say yes when everything in you is screaming no, just to avoid disappointing others. And all this time you think you're being strong, but strength isn't sacrificing yourself to keep the wrong people close. Strength is walking away before it destroys you. Let me ask you something. How many things are you still holding on to, just because you're afraid of the silence that comes after letting go? How many people are still in your life, not because you love them, but because you're afraid to start over? This is your turning point. It's time to choose peace over validation. It's time to stop being loyal to your suffering. The illusion of control. You think you're in control. You think that if you try harder, plan better, hold tighter, things will finally go your way. But the truth is, the more you try to control everything, the more life slips through your fingers. Control is not power. Control is fear in disguise, and fear makes you act small. It makes you cling to people who don't care. It makes you settle for less than you deserve. It makes you fight for things that were never meant to stay. The paradox is this: the moment you stop trying to control everything is when things finally start to fall into place. Not because of luck, but because you're finally aligned with your truth, not your fear. You stop forcing, you stop begging, you stop trying to prove your worth, and that's when real peace enters. Invisible attachments. Some of the most dangerous chains are the ones you can't see. The job that drains your soul, the relationship you outgrew, the version of yourself you feel forced to maintain just to be accepted. You say you're tired, but you stay. You say you want peace, but you feed the drama. You say you want to be free, but you're still holding on to everything that's holding you back. Ask yourself, what are you attached to that's already gone? What are you still chasing that's not even chasing you? If it's costing your peace, your health, your identity, then it's too expensive. You don't owe anyone the destruction of yourself just to keep them comfortable. You don't owe your past a lifetime of loyalty. You owe yourself freedom when love becomes a prison. Not everything you call love is actually love. Sometimes it's attachment, sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's a prison disguised as connection. You think you're staying because you care, but you're actually staying because you're scared. Scared of being alone, scared of starting over, scared of not being enough on your own. But let me ask you something. Are you really with that person because you love them, or because you're afraid of being without them? The truth is, real love doesn't demand that you lose yourself. It doesn't require you to shrink, to beg, to constantly prove your worth. And if you're holding someone so tightly that they can't breathe, that's not love, that's fear. The relationship that was already over. I once met a man who stayed in a dying relationship for years. He thought he was being strong, loyal, committed, but deep down he knew he wasn't in love anymore. He was just afraid of starting over. He tried to fix what was already broken. He gave more than he had. He lost himself trying to save something that was long gone. And one day, he looked in the mirror and didn't recognize himself. That's when he realized holding on to someone out of fear of being alone is the fastest way to abandon yourself. When he finally let go, he didn't feel broken. He felt free. The paradox of detachment. Here's the paradox that nobody tells you. The less you need, the more you attract. The less you chase, the more comes your way. The less desperate you seem, the more power you carry. Because confidence is magnetic. Clarity is magnetic. Self-respect is magnetic. And when you stop begging, stop explaining, stop proving, you stop leaking energy. You stop giving away your power. You become whole. You don't have to chase what's meant for you. You don't have to beg for love, for peace, for freedom. You just have to let go of what's not yours. And that space you create by letting go is exactly what allows the right things to finally come in. Detachment is not indifference. It's power. People will tell you, if you care too little, you'll lose everything. But the truth is, if you care too much about the wrong things, you'll lose yourself. Detachment is not apathy. It's not giving up. It's the ultimate act of power. It means you feel deeply, but you don't lose yourself in emotion. You care, but you don't chase. You love, but you don't beg to be loved back. You stop reacting. You start choosing. When you stop being a slave to every feeling, every thought, every person's opinion, you finally start living on your terms. How to practice detachment. Daily detachment isn't something you master overnight. It's a practice, a choice, a discipline. Here's how you start. 1. Say no without guilt. You don't owe your energy to everyone who asks for it. 2. Stop trying to be understood by people committed to misunderstanding you. Their judgment isn't your prison, unless you choose to live in it. 3. Let silence be your response. Not everything deserves your reaction. Not everyone deserves your explanation. 4. Let go of the need to fix everything. Some things are not yours to fix. They're yours to walk away from. 5. Ask yourself every day, is this costing my peace? If the answer is yes, it's too expensive. Practical exercise. Next time you feel the urge to control, obsess, or hold on, stop. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes and ask, is this helping me grow? Or is this keeping me stuck in who I no longer want to be? Then, Act based on that answer, not on fear, not on habit, but on truth. You grow when you stop clinging. The decision: break free or stay chained. This is your moment of truth. You stand at a crossroads. One path leads to the same old pain, the same old struggle, the same endless cycle of fear and control. The other leads to freedom, to peace, to a life where you are no longer a prisoner of your own mind. But freedom isn't free. It requires courage. It requires pain. It requires sacrifice. Ask yourself, are you ready to stop being a hostage to your fears? Are you ready to stop begging for what was never yours to keep? Are you ready to let go, even if it hurts? Because detachment is not the absence of feeling. It's the strength to feel without losing yourself. It's the power to choose peace over chaos. You have two choices: keep holding on to what's breaking you, or let go and start living. Powerful reminder: every time you cling to something toxic, you shrink a little. Every time you hold on to fear, you lose a bit of yourself. Every time you stay out of obligation or fear, you deny your own freedom. But every time you choose to let go, you grow, you heal. You become who you were always meant to be. Final challenge. I want you to close your eyes right now and say silently, I choose to let go. I choose my peace. I choose my freedom. Feel the weight lifting from your chest. Feel the lightness of finally being free. And remember, this is just the beginning. The real work starts now. The journey continues. If this message spoke to you, if you feel the call to change, don't just watch and walk away. Take action. Choose yourself every single day. Remember, detachment is not about losing, it's about gaining. Gaining peace, freedom, and control over your own life. If you're ready to keep growing, start now. Unfollow what hurts you. Say no to what drains you. Surround yourself with what lifts you up. Your energy is precious. Your time is limited. Don't waste it on what's holding you back. If you felt this video, comment below, I choose to let go. Share your story or simply your commitment to freedom. Subscribe for more truths that challenge, inspire, and transform, because this is your journey. And it's just getting started. Thank you for listening. Now go live, truly live, free.